What's up, guys? We're here for episode 3 of our Eibar career mode. Going ahead and kicking off with a little bit of training to start it off. Baston comes up to 74 overall, and Luna's getting really close, and we'll actually be ranking up in that in our next training session, hopefully. Um, our games in this episode are going to be against Sevilla, the real Sashes, Rayo Vallecano, and the big one being FC Barcelona at the end of the episode. Make sure you tune in for that one because it'll be a great game to watch for sure, regardless of the result. So we do go ahead and kick off this first game against Sevilla. Any kind of points I would have been able to get from this game would have pleased me for sure. Definitely one of the top mid table teams in the league, and I would have definitely liked to at least pull away a point or three from this game to make sure that I'm in a good spot for the rest of the season. As you can see here, we do have Hajrovic in the top 5 goal scorers so far in the league. Surprising that Messi and Ronaldo are neither one of them are in the top 5. I've actually kind of found that to happen quite a bit in my career modes when I do things in Spain. For whatever reason, they never end up being top goal scorers really until the end of this season. They kind of pick it up and end up pulling away from the league. In this game, I was playing Kiko instead of Kappa, and to be honest, he's actually been doing pretty well for me. He's still not really scoring goals, but he's getting a lot of goal chances, which has impressed me quite a bit. Still prefer Kappa at the moment over him. So once I can get Kappa back in form, I do plan on playing him a little bit more. We only get a few chances rather in the first half of this game. Sevilla really, they couldn't get the ball very far into my half, but it was a little bit of a back and forth midfield battle in this game. So no scoring in the first half. Kicking off into the second half though, we do have a little bit of a defensive lap here. Lapse of mentality, and they run straight down at us and get a very early chance into the second half. Just playing really, really nice football and just banging the ball back and forth. Terrible attempt of a clearance for me and straight into the back of the net at the edge of the box. I can't remember if I pulled my keeper there. I think I did, trying to go after the ball, which obviously just put me in a really bad situation. Right after that, though, we run down the pitch down into the 78th minute, and getting a free kick, obviously in this 25 to 30 yard area, it's an automatic goal for me at this point. Like I said, I'm very comfortable with his free kicks, and that's going to give him, I believe, his 6th goal on the season. So definitely doing good for the first half of the season for me. Still probably going to be looking for another striker to bring in because Baston, like I said, he's a decent striker, but not really where I want him to be just yet. So I probably will be trying to bring in a little bit more talent, at least as a backup secondary striker for me. But as we get into this game, the more I played it, the less comfortable I got playing against Sevilla, and it just felt like there were holes everywhere in my team, which I'm not sure why. I was just passing poorly, and nothing seemed to come off the way I needed to. Luckily, my keeper comes up with a really big save there, but it is a corner. And as you guys are going to see this, you're just going to see this player run straight down the middle of the box and just completely cuts across my defense, and nobody marks him. And it's a free header near post into the back of the net. Incredibly frustrating goal. You never want to have a swift reply coming up against you. Really kills the morale of the game. Here in the 90th minute, hoping I can pull away with some sort of magic, one of those 90th minute scripted goals, but it just wasn't meant to be. As much as I pushed through, I think I was rushing it a little too much, wasn't passing as much as I should have, and forced some situations I definitely didn't need to do, and it ended up costing us 3 points in the match. So, hard game to lose, but like I said, I would have been glad to get points here, but it's really not too disheartening to lose points. Still going to be in the middle of the table, around where we want to be, and moving into the next game, I was feeling a little more confident because even though I did lose this game, I had some good chances. As you see there, the possession wasn't that great, which is still something I'm working on with this team. but it did give me some goal scoring opportunities that I think I was going to be able to finish off in the next game. As you can see here, Luna does move up to 74 overall. Harovic is getting closer to that 76 overall. I'm trying to really work on his finishing because I am playing him at that striker role, and I think it will actually help him out in the long run, playing from the right mid if he were to go back to his old club or we re-sign him. If I were to ever move back onto that right side, it'll be nice to have a right mid who can also finish. We finally get a scouting report from our scout that I sent out to the U.S. He's a five-star recruiter, and he does find one player for us. I do leave him to scout one more time because it is a 68 to 94 potential rating, which is a really big gap that I didn't really want to mess around with. So I'm going to go ahead and give him one more month of scouting and then come back to it and see if it's a player that I do want to sign for the youth squad. But going into the next game here against the Real Stashes, Vallecano, a solid lower table squad, but still a solid squad nonetheless. Nothing really happened in the first 30 so minutes of this match, and I got so lucky here. Again, my defense just didn't feel that strong playing whenever I played these few games, which really had me worried having this Barcelona game coming up. I didn't play a weak squad here. I went ahead and played my first team. It took the risk that I was going to go into the Barcelona match a little tired, but I wasn't expecting much from the Barcelona match, so I really wasn't too worried about it. I wanted to go ahead and solidify getting 3 points in this match if I could. But like I said, struggling a lot in this match. I couldn't seem to get anything going. It was a lot of midfield battles like the past few games have been, and I couldn't seem to get many chances. They ran at me a lot, and it broke down my defense quite a bit. Their counterattack was pretty strong, and every time I seemed to try to stop one of the counterattacks, it just ended up being a foul, and pushing players off the ball just seems to cause a little too many fouls in this game. Again, lucky here, their finishing just wasn't that strong, and I was able to get away with two very clean-cut chances that I should have been scored on. Pushing this ball out to Vardy and then to Inui, I figured I could probably get a pretty good chance there, but instead it went straight into the defender, and we do get a corner here. My corners have not been good this season. I haven't been able to finish well with my heading to actually put it into one of the corners in the net, and it always seems to go straight at the keeper if I can even get it that far, because I don't really have tall players in the squad, which makes it very difficult for me to actually score from corners. So corners aren't really anything that I'm really trying to go for, trying to force the situation up. Obviously, you know, I'm always trying to go for those penalties and free kicks because I know they're guaranteed goals for me right now. Unlucky to not get tackled in the box right there, I guess. Danny Garcia a little strong and got toe poked right there, and the ball ended up rolling away from him. A few chances here though, but like I said, I really didn't get that many chances. I mean, we're in the 60th minute, and this is only the third or fourth highlight from the game, at least from my point of view. Just wasn't able to break down the defense as well as I wanted to, and whenever I did, I didn't have the right players in place to actually take a solid shot, and ended up going straight to the keeper or fizzling out the attack and not being able to do anything. I do bring Baston into this game because, like I said, Barcelona was my next match, so I definitely didn't want to burn out any of my players. Kappa also comes into this game. Just trying to spark some interest in the squad and see if maybe I could pull something out of this match, but playing on legendary, you kind of have to accept the fact if it hits that 70-minute mark and you're playing against a lesser talented squad, they're going to start parking the bus and they're going to start passing in the back. It's going to be incredibly difficult to pull the ball off of them. They were holding it in the corner for the majority of the time. 90th minute, I tried so hard to get into the box, but just like the last game, I think I just rushed it a little too much in the 90th minute. Didn't pass as well as I should have, and my attack ends up fizzling out, and we end up tying the game and dropping 2 points. A little disappointed. I did get a scouting report from Germany and started to think about it, and Xabi Alonso would be a great player that I would love to bring back to the squad. If you guys don't remember, he did spend a year or two on loan at Eibar, and he said he loved playing for the squad and loves the story that the squad managed to come back to La Liga. So I would love to try to get him. He is at the end of his contract at Bayern, so hopefully can get him on a free contract. He is a little pricey, so I'm gonna have to sell somebody for a good bit of money or have some sort of money come from somewhere to actually sign the player. Um, at least now, maybe here in a couple more years, once he degrades a little bit more, he'll be a little bit cheaper and I'll be able to grab it from him. But into the Barcelona match, as you can see, we're only in the 3rd minute and they have 2 solid opportunities. A little bit of a wasted corner from them, hitting it over to an offside player. But when it comes to playing against Barcelona, this is actually, it's funny because this is something that I usually try not to do, is to try to pass better than Barcelona. But I started off the game in ultra defensive, a little risky there to be honest, but I was just trying to go for the 1 point. And it just seemed like they were playing a little further back than I was used to. So I tried to pass around the ball a little bit, took Inui into the box, and Mateo comes straight at me and chops out my legs, giving me a lovely opportunity for a penalty right here. And at this point in the game, I was shell shocked. Like I said, I didn't think I was going to have many opportunities in this game. I was just going to sit back and concede possession and just play defensive and just try to hold out the 1 point win and have like a really unexciting game against Barcelona. But that's kind of what you have to do against these La Liga giants, to actually pull points away. So I wasn't really too disappointed with that game plan, but to actually get that point, I was ecstatic, and this game was actually so exciting for me to play. I had so many opportunities going into the box. It just felt like Barcelona couldn't really figure out how to pass the ball through my team. And once they did, their opportunities were horrible, and they were taking shots from outside of the box and just completely missing the goal. Unlucky that I honestly didn't get more goals in this game, which I know sounds crazy going up against Barcelona, but there were a few plays like here where my passing was off by like just a couple feet, and it was honestly like a matter of seconds of me having opportunities like right there to smash the ball one more time and maybe try to get the ball past Bravo in this game. Not one of the best keepers in my opinion, so I definitely felt confident going up against Bravo as a keeper. Like I said, they just didn't have many opportunities. You guys aren't going to see many opportunities from the Barcelona point of view, which isn't because I'm just cutting them all out. It's honestly because they literally just could not get many good chances. They finally bring in Iniesta. Obviously, being a lesser strong team, they were going to play a weaker squad. As you see, I mean, they didn't play Iniesta. I don't believe they started Messi either. Yeah, they brought in Messi for Vidal. So that does obviously help me a bit. I don't have to worry about Messi the entire game, but even when Messi came on, I still didn't feel the presence of him. I felt the presence of Suarez and Neymar a little bit more than I did Messi, which may be because he was on that right wing, but to be honest, I mean, I've played him with other teams in the past, and he's done really well from that right wing, so I was really surprised that Messi didn't pose a bigger threat to the game. He only got that one chance, and we managed to tackle him in the box and luckily got the ball, so we didn't have to worry about giving away a penalty and causing this little bit of a penalty game more than anything. So at the end of it all, a solid game from me. Like I said, I would have been really happy with a 0-0 draw here, and luckily managed to get away with all 3 points right here. Thought I was going to give it away. I was panicking. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, freaking out that I was about to lose the game, and literally the last second by a little bit of a dropped ball right there from my keeper. So like I said, lucky maybe to get the 3 points in this match, but I'll take it nonetheless. Going into it, I knew it really wasn't going to shake up the table regardless of what I was going to get of a result. Just wanted to get that 1 point to make sure I kept my spot in the league. Went ahead and got the 3 points, but as you guys can see here, really didn't shake up the table too much. Atletico Madrid's actually in a very good spot. If they win their next 2 games rather, they could go ahead and come up into that first place spot. So even though they're down there at 5th, they do have 2 games in hand, and they could actually make a pretty good run for that top 3 area for La Liga, which is a good spot for them. I'm still in that 8th spot with a game in hand against Celta Vigo, so hopefully I can get into that 5th or 6th spot, and hopefully we can make some moves in the league, and the window will be coming up shortly, so hopefully we can make some pretty good signings. But until then, I'll see you guys next time.